Last week, I reported that a pared-down version of the Restaurants Act had received bipartisan support during the Senate's vote-a-rama. This week, I'm pleased to report that thanks to the urging of our partners at the National Restaurant Association, a unified version of the bill has been introduced by Senators Wicker and Sinema in the Senate and by Representatives Blumenauer and Pennsylvania's Brian Fitzpatrick in the House. The proposal is moving through the process in Washington. Direct relief for restaurants is welcome news across our industry, as this proposal has support across industry groups like state restaurant associations and the Independent Restaurant Coalition. While this is good news for restaurants across Pennsylvania and the country, the $1.9 trillion package still contains President Biden's proposal to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour and eliminate the tip credit. It is critical that we engage via the action alert with our elected officials on how devastating this proposal would be to our already struggling industry and their employees. We've also included resources for operators to share with their tipped employees to join the fight in preserving their tips in the daily update. Moving on to Harrisburg, Governor Wolf signed into law SB 109, now known as Act 1 of 2021. One of PRLA's top priorities that would provide a $145 million grant program to the restaurant and hotel industry. The governor this week announced that the funds are ready to be distributed to the counties, which will be administering the grants, but the application for the program is not open yet. PRLA will be joined by a representative from the Department of Community and Economic Development on an upcoming weekly industry update webinar to discuss the program prior to the application open date, so stay tuned to the daily update for details. Another often overlooked component of Act 1 is that it clarifies PPP loans are not subject to state personal income tax. This week, the Wolf administration announced the creation of a COVID-19 vaccine joint task force with the legislature to streamline communications between the two branches of state government. The PA legislature has been imploring the governor to communicate with them about his management of the COVID crisis for the past 11 months. It's good to see that a dialogue might actually finally begin. At the local level, the Philadelphia Department of Health announced new ventilation standards for restaurants that want to increase to 50% capacity for indoor dining as early as today, Friday, February 12th. Nowhere else in the country requires restaurants to adhere to such standards. No other type of business in Philadelphia is required to implement these standards either. The Philadelphia Inquirer yesterday published an op-ed by Kamara Edwards, PRLA Philadelphia Chapter President and Director of Business and Events for Sojourn Philly, in response to the city's ventilation standards. You can access Kamara's op-ed, appropriately titled, "Philly's New Indoor Dining Guidelines Fail Both Restaurants and Customers," by clicking on the link in today's update. As a reminder, the National Restaurant Association announced that the 2021 Legislative Affairs Conference will go virtual this year on April 20th, 2021, with virtual visits to lawmakers to be held on April 21st and 22nd. If ever there was a year that Washington needs to hear your voice, it is this one. Mark your calendars and look for more information to be released soon. I'm John Longstreet with another edition of It Happened This Week. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next week.